We have a lot of shit on the desk with both of these keyboards. It is a lot of stuff. I'm like feeling a little claustrophobic here. Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Okay, so we have two keyboards today. They're both Neo 60%. The Neo 60 CU comes with gasket mount on the PCB and isolated top mount. So two different mounting styles. We have ourselves some screws, it looks like right here. And then we have what would appear to be our feet. Okay, so plate materials on the Neo 60 CU. So aluminum plate, polycarbonate plate, or is this PP? It's always hard to tell. We have that and aluminum for the 60 CU. This is the PCB on the 60 CU. So we have stepped caps, split left shift, 6.25 or 7U bottom row, ISO support, split backspace, full right shift. So tons of layout support. We have all of our foams here, or just actually just plate foam and PE foam. No case foam, it looks like. Oh wait, never mind, I'm tripping. Case foam is right here. It was in the actual keyboard whenever it shipped. Yeah, this is the brass version. I do want to see the copper too, but I tried to do a little bit of a different visual config between the 65 and 60 that I received. And I just felt that maybe with the teal, the brass would maybe pair better. This is the bottom of the 60 CU. You can see the brass and teal combined on that little compass. Side profile is just ridiculous. It's so pretty. And then the top with the HHKB. Already, guys, it is going to be hard for the 60 core to top this for me. Visuals alone. I mean, damn, dude. Yeah, this board does have a gap. Very interesting situation. I don't know the reason. They told me it was like some sort of something like a manufacturing choice that they made. They didn't really tell me why they made the choice, but yeah, you can see. I mean, it is so thin. You can barely see it. You can kind of see my hand under it. It's very subtle. Once you assemble it, it's nearly invisible unless you point it up to a light. And I built the 65 already. As far as I can tell, this gap has zero negative impact on the end result in terms of the sound. Board still sounded great, felt really good, and obviously looks really pretty. For the price, it's just ridiculous. But yeah, I also love the magnetic connection, you know, super easy, straightforward to use. Now we can get out the 60 core. Oh wow, in the core you get a plate fork. That's kind of a nice touch. The CU did not come with this. So we have actually 3 plates here. These are different than what we have on the CU. So I guess we will just be using aluminum across both boards today for the complete and utter consistency. That way the comparison is 100% fair. So I'll just go ahead and put these aside. But yeah, you have the option at FR4 and PP. As you can see, there's no mounting points on the plate because this dual mount is PCB gasket as well and an O-ring. I think what we're going to do, my idea is to compare, okay, how do both boards sound with the Bean PCB gaskets head to head, and then to see if the top mount on the CU or the O-ring on the core gives either one an edge over the other for that other mounting style. We have a lot of shit on the desk with both of these keyboards. It is a lot of stuff. I'm like feeling a little claustrophobic here. Okay, yeah, so different PCB in terms of the visuals. So on this one, we also have ourselves some PE foam and plate foam included in the package. Pogo pin connector, again, love to see it. We also do have ISO support, split backspace, full shift, split shift, 7U or 6.25 bottom row, split left shift, and caps. So yeah, tons of layout support again on this, exactly identical actually to the CU. So great layout support on both. I do like the design for sure of the CU on the PCB more, but you're never going to see it. But it does look a little nicer, I would say, a little more premium. But I also kind of like this too. Oh yeah, this one comes with a box of stuff. So there's a little bit of kind of some value options included in the core. You get a screwdriver, you get a keycap and switch puller, and a USB cable. I mean, that's kind of a nice touch. It's not like the nicest cable you're ever going to get, but that keycap puller is pretty nice. Interesting to see them including more freebie gifts. So here we have our Bean gaskets and the O-ring on the core. We also have some pretty cute little feet, actually. They look like little smiley faces or frowny faces, depending on your mood. Black or like a cream color, you can choose. And then we also have some other screws and different things of that sort. Now let's get into the case. Ooh, the texture already is pretty nice. So the case foam is included in here as well. So here's the core. The core has, you can see the sparkles in the finish. It's a very pretty finish. It's got like kind of more of a texture to it. The sparkles also are colorful. They're not like just silver, like they might be appearing on camera to be just silver, but they're actually speckled of color, like some blues, some greens, some reds, maybe even some purples, some yellows. You've got kind of more of a simplistic side profile here, more of a typical box on a wedge, but the wedge is just kind of on the side. It's this is a unibody design. You don't unscrew anything, you just drop it in. That's kind of where the price difference comes. This is a two-piece design, obviously a more complex design. This is way more of a boxy design, a more simplistic design. I actually do kind of mess with the weight on this one a little bit more. I do like this little edge kind of right here. Both look really good for different reasons. This is kind of like a special little shout out for our friends over at Unikeys. I had a very unique issue whenever they asked me to build both of these keyboards. I did not have enough of the same switches to use across two boards for the complete and utter consistency that I wanted for this test. I messaged Unikeys, who's an affiliate of our channel, and asked them if they could quickly send over some switches for me to use for this build specifically. They were very happy enough to rush these over to me, so thank you so much, Unikeys, for making this happen. I really wanted this to be consistent against each other. It was very important for me in my test. So shouts out to them. They told me they think they have two switches that would be perfect for this board. We have the TT Red and the Sugar Rush. Both of these are phenomenal switches. If you like long poles, if you don't want to fuff with all the modifications, both of these are really solid. I've used them both in some builds in the past. I told them that I love them, and then they were like, yeah, we think that they would go great with these boards, so we can send them over. Okay, guys, TT Red's won by 1 vote. I like these a lot. So let's get out the grommets. We'll go ahead and drop the assembly in to here. PCB dumbbells, by the way. That's how they look like. Very squishy. Probably like a 30A, 40A hardness. Very soft feeling. So yeah, this should be a pretty good feeling keyboard. I mean, these in the CU that I built the other day it was insanely flexible. Like, it felt phenomenal. So I'm only hoping to get the same experience here. Even with the alu plate, since it's PCB gaskets, it should be pretty nice. The only thing I'm not liking right now, looking at it, is that we are mounting some points on the spacebar. There's 2 points right here, which is right within the spacebar. Might lead to some stiffness. We will see. We might try to remove those. But with the O-ring, it will also have that stiffness in the same areas, except that the posts on the O-ring will be outside of the parameter of the spacebar here and here. It just drops right into place. So that is the core with the assembly inside. Pretty quick and easy to drop in, quick and easy to assemble. Your Gateron or cherry switch guy. I like my cherry switches too, but they are just so much effort. But I do respect the grind of that. If you can put in the work and you love the result, that's great, man. I like Nixie's most of the cherry switches. However, I did get in cherry silvers. And you guys know I love my long pole, and the silvers are long pole. The cherry MX2A silvers might be the best cherry switch to me. We'll see. I'm gonna do some testing, but I'm kind of thinking it might be up there. So the important thing that I noticed is that you can actually stretch these, and yeah, you have to be insanely gentle with it. Before I tried to stretch it out, but now it's like you just feed it in and don't stretch it. There's no pulling on this side, like just letting it fall naturally into place. Should be pretty close to where it needs to be. Nope, still overshot even though it's lined up. So yeah, we have to redo it. Not the biggest fan of this longer foot style. Got it in there now. Yeah, just a little bizarre, a little awkward, but not too difficult, just a little different. I already said, I like the smaller feet on the core a lot better, but I know, like, obviously with the back design of the CU, they had to do something a little more unique due to how it's shaped. It makes sense. So this is similarly mounted, by the way, with the top mount screws on the outer side of the spacebar and the PCB screws on the inner edge of the spacebar. we will see how that affects the sound. Now, immediately, huge difference in the weight. I don't have a scale. This is substantially more heavy than this. Let me get the keycaps on, then we can kind of look at the website, break down the price of each unit, and then go into the sound tests, and then compare and see kind of where we're at. I love building boards. Like, yeah, sometimes I'm paid to do it, which is awesome. You know, I'm like very fortunate in that position. But like more so, man, I just love to just hang out with you guys, you know, like just hang out, talk about whatever, just share like my opinions and things that I'm enjoying, and having people resonate with those things is like awesome. You know, that's what I love to do. And I think if you want to do that, I highly recommend you do that. It is a very enjoyable and rewarding experience. Both are looking really pretty on the desk. Okay, so here is the situation. We have the 60 core versus the 60 CU. The 60 core is a unibody design, meaning that they can lower the cost. Pretty simplistic on the top down. Your side profile, once again, very basic. This is just like a box on wedge type of situation. The spray coated finish is gorgeous though. I love that look. Let's peel this, see how it looks. Okay, gorgeous. So yeah, the mirror PVD is actually really pretty. So overall, like a pretty nice budget board, right? Good, clean design. This right here in this configuration, not counting caps and switches, is $134. Not too bad, you know, what you're getting. It says, you know, fulfilled in 4 weeks. I think it's a great deal. This board, I believe, starts at just $80. So if you kind of tamed back some of the customization, pretty insane. Now the CU for this exact configuration we have. 2-piece case design, top and bottom frame, okay? Hidden screwed mechanism. Teal HHKB has a beautiful, absolutely gorgeous side profile, okay? One of the prettiest I've seen in a little bit. Gorgeous from this angle as well, by the way, because the curves, you can kind of see them. Got that little logo there in the middle too. In the back, it's pretty sweet, guys. Let's do a little peel here as well. There we go. Beautiful. Looks pretty sweet. I love that little weight in the middle. I actually really like it. Overall, I mean, to me, in every way, the CU is just a better aesthetic. 100%. I love the visuals of this. The CU with the teal HHKB, brass bottom, the mirrored black weight, hot swap PCB, and aluminum plate is $200. For just visuals alone, you know, I think this is worth the $70 more. But that totally depends on you and your situation. Now I think what's more important is that we get into the sound and feel of each of these. They're both using the same plate material, the same switches, GMK keycaps, both gasket mounted, and see which one sounds better. The Neo Core 60 core with an aluminum plate, GMK Dracula, gasket mount with TT red switches from Unikeys. I mean, this sounds insane. Like, so that's the core. This is the 65. Aluminum plate, stock HMX TT Reds, GMK Michelin, aluminum plate, PCB gasket mount. Here we go. Oh, okay. Okay, so, wow. Wow. Okay, so here's the situation. For one, we'll cut straight to the facts. Both of them sound phenomenal. Also, both of them feel phenomenal. Both of them look really good. One, you know, the CU to me looks way better, okay? But, like, if you are on a budget and you want a nice keyboard, like, this is an insane value. But for me, just the $70 more for this is fantastic. $130, $200. Here's the comparison for me. The 60 core is softer with the gaskets than the CU by a little bit. Something about it does feel a bit more springy over here. Sound-wise, the core to me has an openness about it. Yeah, it just feels more airy in a way. Sounds great, really clacky sound, very crispy sound profile. The CU, on the other hand, feels like it has a bit more of like a robust sound. Whereas this one maybe is more high-end. This one's also got the same high-end, but it also has like a bassiness to it. And it just sounds more full-bodied overall. Especially like the spacebar has way more of an oomph and a pop, whereas this just has more of like a slap to it. I mean, both sound great, don't get me wrong, but this one does have an edge in the sound for sure. I said it is a bit more stiff, but both are very soft keyboards to type on. We're looking at the side profiles here. One is way more exciting than the other. The CU is untouchable in this department, in my opinion. Now the bottom is like up to your interpretation actually, which might look better. I think both look pretty good actually, but I still definitely side with the CU. Just the curviness of it. How the compass looks is more attractive to me with the like brass and teal peeking in. But I do like the feet better on the core for what it's worth. So yeah, dude, both are phenomenal keyboards. I would say the 60 for me would get a 10 in the design, a 10 in the sound, and a 10 in the feel. This one would get like an 8 in the design, and then I think it's still a 10 in sound and feel. Like it still sounds and feels perfect. Like I literally can't think of how it could be better. Like I think both of these sound and feel great. For me, it's just a looks thing, and I think this one just looks slightly more boring. Like not to be harsh with that word, but like it is like sitting side by side and comparing them. This one is like much more exciting for me personally. We can hop in, do one more test real quick, and just see the difference in the top. Like this one can be top mounted, this one can be O-ring mounted, okay? Now how do you get this one out is the question. Oh, that fork, that makes sense. Okay, so you have to do like put it down and then you twist it up. Now I see why the fork was included. Yeah, that made it so much easier. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's a big brain fork for sure. These little guys go on the plate. They're like a little isolation gaskets for the top mount. So we're just sliding those on all the way around, then we will screw it to the top case, and then we can compare the sounds. Okay, so last test, guys, we have ourselves the Neo 60 CU top mounted versus the Neo 60 core in O-ring mount. I mean, okay, now the 60 core. Okay, so I think both boards are exceptionally great for what we're getting. I think that this one sounds better in O-ring than gasket mount, I want to say. But the gasket mount also sounded phenomenal. It's just something about the O-ring gave it more of that like poppy sound for me. It sounds a bit more full, I would say, in the O-ring, but the gasket felt great. The O-ring is significantly stiffer. There's not much flex now, but the sound is like way more crisp. The CU, whenever we put it in top mount, kept the same clack, except like the spacebar got deeper. It has more of a bassy pop on the spacebar of the CU, and a deeper tone overall, but it's still pretty loud. It's just kind of one of those things where both boards are phenomenal, right? This one's like a 9 out of 10. This one's a 10 out of 10 for me. You know, if you like that deeper, more classic top mount sound, great. If you want the clackier sound, the gaskets are perfect. On this one, you know, both sounded pretty clacky to me. Both sounded sharper. And yeah, man, I mean, both boards are insane. This one, like I said, for this specific color and combination that I have is 130. This one's 200. Both are an insane value. I don't think you could go wrong with either of them. You know, if it's your first board or if you don't have a 60% yet, you probably cannot go wrong with either of these keyboards. Once again, I think Neo is on to something, man. They are doing some pretty phenomenal things and making some phenomenal keyboards. So yeah, these are both live and available if you guys want to check them out. This is the first time in the stream, a double smooch. You guys ready for this? Beautiful. That's a crazy side, isn't it? Look at that. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for tuning in. It always means a lot. Love you guys. And until next time, I'll key you later. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.